We are there to serve the members and give them things that they can use in their everyday working lives.
Landline Now, welcome back. This week is Mission Military Appreciation here on Landline Now. During this week, we're talking about our military, the troops who are serving right now, and the veterans who have served, as well as the efforts of OOIDA to support both of those groups through the Truckers for Troops program. But this week, we also want to discuss how taking part in this can be good for you as a truck driver. OOIDA offers a number of benefits to members who are out on the road, all of which can help you run your business, stay compliant with regulations, and overall improve your life. Here to discuss some of the benefits of membership are OOIDA Membership Manager Sylvia Dodson, the Association's Marketing Director Mike Schermoly, and OOIDA Director of Federal Affairs Jay Grimes. Everybody, thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Welcome. Good to be with you.
Now, before we get into the programs, the whole point of all of this is the core mission, Jay, which is representing truckers. You've been a big part of that effort for quite some time. Can you give us kind of the Reader's Digest version of what OOIDA does for its members in terms of representation?
Yeah, so OIDA is the largest trade association devoted exclusively to promoting the interests of owner-operators and professional drivers. And we've got a government affairs department based in Washington and certainly here in Grain Valley, promoting policies that will help small business truckers and the men and women who make their living behind the wheel. And our advantages is that's the only membership that we get to work for. We're not dealing with hundreds of special interests. We are fighting for their rights, more equitable federal regulations, anything that can help them in terms of Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration policy, congressional policy, legislation, regulation, state regulation too. We work with a lot of state governments. So really covering everything from federal, state, local level on any issue that relates to trucking and transportation.
Now, Mike and Jay, I want to kind of ask both of you or either one of you here, all the programs that we're going to talk about here bring in money, and that money goes to the representation effort. Why do that? Why is that the method that OOIDA uses?
Well, I mean, OOIDA discovered years ago that they had to have a revenue source to do all of this work in Washington. At that time, of course, we were doing a lot of court cases as well, which all take funding. And the benefit programs were put together in order to generate that revenue. Truck insurance being obviously the biggest of the ones here in the association, but the life and health benefits and some of the smaller ones as well. And those revenues, beyond the cost of actually applying the programs, goes back into the association to pay for the lobbying work we do, for the court cases, and some of the other initiatives that we take.
Okay. One of the obvious things we talk about when we talk about benefits are discounts and rebates that are offered to the association's members. And I want to talk a little bit, Mike, about why that's part of the overall effort. Why discounts and rebates?
Well, we are there to serve the members and give them things that they can use in their everyday working lives. They don't have the benefit of being part of large fleets who have discounts that they've arranged. What we do is we try and pull together the buying power of our members to negotiate these discounts with vendors. And over the 25 years that I've been here, I mean, they've come, they've gone. We've put on some great benefits. Sometimes because of marketing decisions on the part of the vendor, they may decide to discontinue, but then new ones come in. And they come in from various venues. I mean, sometimes it's through the advertising in the magazine. Sometimes we get approached directly, and sometimes actually members contact us and say, "Hey, we've got a chain of tire shops or a chain of repair shops that really is interested in doing work with us. Why don't you give them a call?" And that's we bring them in like that as well. But it's all to give the members some tangible benefits to their membership, by being able to get discounts through these major players.
So, Mike, what are some of the big programs or the ones that really seem to resonate the most with members?
Well, over the years, the OEM programs have been quite successful. Now, a few of those have fallen away just recently, but certainly we're always looking for the main items. We're looking for tires. We're looking for OEMs. We're looking for repair shops. We're looking for certainly our fuel card has grown into something really quite substantial in terms of the discounts we have and the network that we have. We probably have one of the largest networks in the industry at the moment, and some of the best discounts in the industry. And so that these are things that members can really save on. I mean, when you talk about $45 or a discount at $35 a year, I mean that's well worth the price of membership when you can get these kind of discounts.
Well, and of course, you mentioned the OEM discounts. And I mean, when you're purchasing a truck, if you get a big discount on that, that can pay for your membership for years.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Sylvia, I want to turn to you here a little bit because when you first came here to OOIDA a few years ago, you started in the truck insurance program, and so you know a lot about that. Can you kind of talk a little bit about the insurance program and what kinds of things it offers to members?
Well, I mean, truck insurance, we have full phase of truck insurance from liabilities to cargo, physical damage, passenger accident, general liabilities. We have a full line of truck insurance, as well as life and health benefits and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and life and health benefits, I think people get a little confused sometimes on that. What's involved? Just give us a couple of examples of programs that they have in that department.
Well, the big one's occupational accident. That's our big one. And then they do have the life insurance is different levels of life insurance. Now, when you get membership, you automatically get $1,000 free AD&D. And accidental death and dismemberment. Say that really fast, right? But anyway, and then they can add different levels and get higher up if they want, in the big programs and things like that.
Okay. One of the other things that is very important here is the compliance or business services area. And the compliance is particularly important because, of course, that's helping truckers out with kind of basic regulatory compliance with things like reviewing leases and all of that. Jay, that's kind of putting the regulatory part into force, isn't it?
Yeah, no question. It's really kind of an all-hands-on-deck approach throughout the association from department to department. We all kind of hear the same issues that drivers face and want to try and address those in the most efficient and effective way possible. So from the government affairs team, we're working with marketing, membership, compliance, the switchboard office, hearing what our members think, hearing what they need, and trying to get some improvements, some reforms in Washington that can help our membership.
Okay.
Well, and a lot of times they're our lead. They give us that lead in to go check something out or to look into something or something's happening in a certain area, and that will open the door to the compliance area as well and the regulatory for them to check into what's going on with the state or CVSA actions or things like that. So everybody plays a part of this
all
puzzle.
Connected. Yep.
It's all connected from our members all the way.
One thing over the years that I think some people have been kind of surprised that we're involved in is CMCI, which is the association's drug testing consortium. And, of course, drug testing is kind of a sensitive area for a lot of truckers. It's something that's never been a major cause of accidents, but nonetheless it's something truckers have to go through. Why did we get involved? Why did the association get involved in drug testing?
Well, at the time, drug testing was coming down the pipeline, and we did fight it. We fought it very hard. But more importantly, sometimes when issues are kind of it's inevitable that they're going to come. It's important that they're actually applied correctly and with the rights of the driver in mind. And there are a lot of things built into the drug testing regulations that we were a part of actually writing or taking out to make sure that they didn't abuse the drivers and their rights. So once this became law, we obviously needed to bring something to the market and to our members that would help them be compliant with the laws. And so we have CMCI is our drug testing consortium for many, many members.
Okay. One other thing I did want to review kind of in the general business services area is permits and licensing. And that involves a lot of different things, but one of the big areas is helping people get their authority. And Sil, can you talk about that a little bit, why it is that we offer that particular thing?
Well, it's hard for the members to do it on their own, and when you find someone that with the forms that the government has you fill out these days, I mean, I've heard the girls mention 43 pages of stuff that they got to fill out to try to get things filed and done, and we just are there to make it easier and do it for them and give them the proper direction and guidance so they don't miss out on something or they don't fill something out right or they get knocked out because they forgot to do this. You know, we're there, we're the professionals, we're the experts to say, you need this, this, and this. This is your operation. I would recommend this. And we get them all set up and get them ready to go.
I remember there was an instance many years ago where they had hired a private firm to handle a lot of this at FMCSA. And it was actually the permits people here at OOIDA that were basically helping the people working for FMCSA learn how to do
yes,
this.
Sir.
And of course, there were all kinds of problems with people getting their authority at that time. And if it hadn't have been for OOIDA,
they wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been good.
Okay. Jay, I want to talk about something that you interact with a lot, and that is the foundation, the OOIDA Foundation, the research arm of the association. And I'm wondering if you can kind of briefly spell out what it is they do and how it fits into the whole effort.
Yeah, so the OIDA Foundation is a nonprofit research arm of the association, and they are looking at a whole host of issues and data related to highway safety, the trucking industry, whole lot of other things. And really the data and research that they do really, I think, paints an accurate, up-to-date picture of what's happening on the highways and what policies can be effective in improving safety. And certainly when you have the data that the foundation brings and you can share that with DOT, FMCSA, lawmakers, really helps make the argument that we're trying to portray and convey to folks in Washington who don't really have any clue about the trucking industry. So the data, the research they provide really goes a long way in achieving our goals from the legislative and regulatory side.
And of course, one of the things they do that's equally important, I would think, is kind of the act of debunking research that's kind of skewed against truckers.
No question. And this longstanding debate of driver shortage versus actual driver retention has been an ongoing struggle that we face with lawmakers and the data that they provide, the economic history that they give us, I think has really gone a long way in convincing lawmakers, no, it's not about addressing a driver shortage. It's about addressing driver retention and the ways that we need to improve the industry, improve driver compensation, improve some of these unnecessary regulations are where we need to start with, not just with attracting a different pool of potential drivers.
Well, we're out of time, but I want to thank you all for joining me. I wish we could talk more about some of these things, but, you know, we always have to meet the clock. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Mark.
Odie says bye.